How's it guys? My name is Warren and welcome to this super exciting video, which is also going to be the start of a brand new series on financial management. Your financial management, that sounds crazy. Pretty much we're going to look at how you can manage your money wisely. I happen to be super passionate about money and finances, and I really like the idea of long-term planning and long-term satisfaction. And I know there's quite a big culture around instant gratification. As soon as you earn something, you need to spend your money and purchase that big item right away. And it is a bit unfortunate that proper money management isn't actually taught at schools and universities. And I was like, yes, people just don't really know how to manage their money properly. That's why you find that a lot of people get into debt. Because they just have no idea really what to do. This has been a series that I've been wanting to create for a really long time, and this series is going to cover different topics like how you can budget. We're going to look at a couple of my personal experiences, how I've dealt with money, what I've been doing with my money, how to invest your money. That's a super confusing topic because a lot of people just don't really know how to invest. I just want to let you know that I am by no means a financial advisor or financial planner. The videos in this series is literally just going to be me offering my advice and my opinions and my experiences within kind of handling money. In this video, I'm just going to go into a bit more detail about my personal financial story and I guess just where I stand, how I got started, thinking differently about money and my goals. I would say when it comes to money, you definitely need to have a bit of a different mindset. You need to think differently. It's not just earning to spend. You need to be earning to save. And my dad definitely drilled this into us at a very young age. When we got given our pocket money, he's like, you can either save it or you can spend it. I've always really liked the idea of property, and you will notice a couple of months back, it was actually the other year, I did that whole renovation series. If you haven't seen it, you can check it out in the link below. And property has been something that I have always been really keen on. I remember when I was sent to my room when I was younger, I used to, because I was naughty for whatever reason, I don't know what I did, but I used to draw these designs on pieces of paper, and I've always liked the idea of owning something that is brick and mortar, or something that you can see. I like the idea of one property kind of being a passive income and paying that off and then using that to buy your next property, and then it's just snowballing from there. So I would say that kind of has been my biggest goal from the beginning. Went throughout high school not really having a proper job, didn't really earn a lot of money besides my pocket money, and then when it came to me finishing high school, parents were like, cool, no more pocket money, you need to go off and earn your own money and just like, we aren't going to support you forever. So that was a pretty cool learning lesson, although it was, in the moment, I guess you're like, oh, like this is a bit disappointing, I now need to fend for myself. Went and did a gap year, and I wasn't earning a lot of money on my gap year. I think I was earning like £90 a week, and I remember actually at the same time, there were other gap years who were earning a lot more than me, so I think I was definitely a bit unlucky and got the lower end of the stick, but tried to save as much as possible over my gap year, because I was like, I need to earn pounds, come back and try and save for property. Yeah, so went through my gap year and actually had a couple of big expenses. Like I remember my phone just broke and I had to fork out like a couple of £100 just buying a phone. And I know a couple of other people who were on gap years. Everyone's like, yeah, we're gonna go across and we're gonna travel and we're gonna see the world. And I was like, you know, as great as it is to travel and explore, my sole focus was to save as much money as possible. Having said that, I do know it's important to also enjoy your money. You do need to have a balance, but I was pretty focused on achieving my goal and just trying to be wise with how I spend my money. So I didn't really go out overseas. I was just trying to save as much as possible. I then started to find out more about investing and saving, and there are a couple of cool local companies down here that I started investing through. So I used to buy a couple of shares. I would consider myself a value investor. So it's what do I feel about this company? Do I like the products? Do I think that people are receiving the company properly? And I used to buy a couple of these shares. At this time, I was earning money by being a pizza delivery driver, and I was a driver for about 4 years. And I wasn't earning a lot of money, but I used to be pretty diligent with saving. So whenever I would earn notes, I would come back and I would take all the big notes and I'll put that away in my drawer and I'll just leave it, and then I'd spend the small little ones. So I kind of, from an early stage, got into the idea of once you start earning money, put some aside and then you can spend what's left over. I know there's kind of a rough rule of thumb where you need to save about 10%, but I was literally saving about 70 or 80% of my money, because I was like, I am so keen on buying a property. I just want to save as much as I can. I also earned some cash from Nerd Squared, from the YouTube channel, where Justin and I would work with brands. And this is where I say that it's important to have the right mindset, because as soon as you have kind of maybe a lump sum or an influx of cash and you don't really know exactly what you plan on doing with it, or you kind of haven't set proper goals down, you suddenly start thinking, I've got all this money that I can just spend, and you go out and you spend way more than you probably should. I would like to think that I was pretty decent with kind of saving my money. So when we would get this lump sum, I would save around about 80% and then I would spend the rest. I definitely got into that routine from an early age of, when you earn some money, just put a lot aside and just spend off what's left. I don't really have a problem with living a minimal lifestyle. So while I was saving, I wasn't just putting my money into a bank account. Down here, you're getting an interest rate of around 6%, which isn't that great. I was more interested in putting my money into shares and unit trusts and just exploring investing and kind of what this whole investing world was all about. So I bought a couple of different shares. I know there was one company, it was a pharmaceutical company that I bought that the share price just increased. I bought it at 70 Rand and then it went up to 400 Rand over a couple of years. So that was pretty decent. That was actually by fluke actually. It was my dad who was like, this is a pretty sick company, heard on the radio. That was actually the first share that I bought. So I didn't really understand what I was doing, but I liked the idea of purchasing a share, and I was just like, cool, if you heard it on the radio, clearly it's a good share to buy because they're talking about it, and I bought it. And I just want to say it's not always like that. Definitely do your own research, but because I was so new into the whole kind of space, I didn't really understand, but it paid off in the end. And that's also one thing with these shares, it's not just instant money. You aren't going to put your money into something and the next day you're going to wake up and you're going to make like 10 times. We live in such a fast-paced world where people want things right away. People aren't prepared to wait. I like the idea of having these little money eggs and like nurturing them and growing them, and then they hatch to be amazing little chickens, and then they go and make their own little eggs and your money just grows and compounds like that. Then it was pretty awesome because I had enough to put down a deposit on a flat. And I bought a flat about 2 years at the end of 2015, so it's about 2 years ago, for an awesome price. It was pretty incredible, actually. Really blessed to have been able to buy the flat at that price. Renovated it and got a tenant in, and am now covering the bonds, the levies, and still making a bit extra. So that was pretty awesome. That was when that happened. I was like, this is what I've been saving hard for. This is what I've been working hard towards. It definitely wasn't easy. During the time where I was focused on building a deposit, a lot of my friends and just other people, they were going out and just like spending money. And I was like, it would be nice just to spend some kind of cash. But I was pretty focused on achieving this thing, and it happened, and it was awesome. Yeah, so that's kind of my money story in a little nutshell. It was probably a bit all over the place. I'm not really the greatest at telling stories, but I am super passionate about money and finance and just being wise and knowing how to handle it properly. So this series aims just to shed light on a couple of things, try and demystify the confusing terms. Maybe you don't really understand where to start or what even is a budget, like why would you need a budget? So I think it would be cool just to go through those things and we just see what happens. Hopefully you will be inspired to think differently about how you can handle your finances, just exploring things for yourself, because you feel super good when you research stuff and you find out, okay, cool, I can actually do this. It's not as hard as everyone says. So yeah, that's what this series is going to be about. I hope you are intrigued and you are excited, and I would love if you haven't already, subscribe, stay tuned for the rest of the videos, And if you are subscribed already, thank you so much. I really appreciate all your support. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. Otherwise, I look forward to going through this money series with you. Yeah, I guess I'll see you on the other side. Okay, cheers.